Hello, friends. How are you? So I am here again with Angela Harkins. Hi, Angela. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
I was just telling Angela that it is like sleeting buckets of rain out there, and I am soaking wet. So if I have bed hair or wet hair, don't care kind of thing. It is what it is. So so hold on one sec. We got Heather coming in, so I'm just going to add her to the stream. So this is our book club, and we're all in different parts about where we have read. And so Heather's here. Hey, Heather.
Good morning.
Heather, meet Angela. Angela, meet Heather.
Hi, Angela. How are you?
Good, thanks. You too?
Good.
So we are talking about the book Radical Candor, and we are on chapter 3. And at least that's what I get. That's where my tabs are from, chapter 3. And I want to just start with a quote from the book, and then we can kind of take it from there. And it said, "Figuring on biggering, but that biggering is just triggering more biggering." And so I thought that was kind of funny because what it says, like to me, was, our expectations with people that we work with and people that, and even ourselves, is that we have a concept of what we should want to do. So that was my first takeaway on that. Let's go around and just say what our first takeaway is. And Angela, what about you?
Yeah, so I read chapters 3 and 4, so I'll try to keep to chapter 3, although I'm not sure where the line is. But
that's okay.
Like you said, people think that, everyone in work needs to climb the ladder, right? And she was talking about sometimes that is not a great thing to do because sometimes, and again, remember she talked about the 2 Olympian women? She said these women were going to be like firecrackers, but right now they were focused on the Olympics. So they were really good at work, but they weren't great and they didn't want to climb the ladder. But as soon as they finished with the Olympics, all of that energy that they spent on the Olympics was now focused on work and they became great. So at different points in our lives, we have different things going on. We want different things in work. And to keep your employees or 1099s or whoever they are, keep them as long as you can and keep them within the company. Sometimes you have to respect that and keep them in the roles that they want to be in. And then later on, they'll shine. And then they might come back down to being good again because they have something else going on. And I thought that was amazing insight.
I love it. I love it. And so Heather, before you go, I just want to share a slide because I think that, and I want to tell a story, and then we can. Okay, so here we are in the book. She talks about the difference between a superstar and a rock star, and what she does is for the superstar, it's a steep growth trajectory. So the person's growing, growing, growing. Whereas in a rock star, the gradual growth trajectory. So like in your example right there, Angela, with the Olympians that were focused on being Olympians, they were not on that steep growth trajectory. And then the second part is ambitious at work versus ambitious outside of work, or simply content with life. And then wants new opportunities, and then happy in current role. And a superstar is a change agent, whereas a rock star is a force for stability. And what they said was each company needs both rock stars and superstars. So Heather, I know that you watched last week, and I know I pulled this on you at the last minute, but what are your thoughts so far?
Well, so I haven't read the book, and I just, did an overview of what you guys talked about earlier, but it's kind of like what you and I talked to you a lot about, Kate.
Yeah, that's why
I am very comfortable in my lane, which is like being given direction and then executing it. So I look at the superstar as like initiating things on their own. And I don't know if that's my lane. And it's a hard place to actually be sometimes with somebody like you, Kate, who is like constantly, like you motivate yourself, like you ride your own bike. So I don't ever want to feel less than, because I'm like, I would have been in the 1800s the best factory worker ever. Do you know what I mean? Like, I love tasks. I love getting in my zone. I love completion. But it looks different from the rock star. And it's like, in my life, I've been like, oh my God, like I am not that person. What? So I'll step back and do nothing rather than go at my own pace, which now I've learned, like, I'm just going to go at my own pace because I'm comfortable there and I do get things done. It's just a different role. And so, like you said, Angela, not everybody is high performance. I don't know how to describe it actually, but like for
Rock
once, I'm like,
superstar, right? Not everybody's a superstar.
I'm okay with being a rock star. And I like the name rock star because it's really not like a rock.
Well, a rock, right? Like a solid rock. I mean, like
rock can still
the
roll
rocks are the
without
foundation of
Yeah.
of any good building, you know?
Mhm. Yes. And that's what I'm working on, my foundation. So it is very interesting. But the word radical in candor, like I like what you guys said earlier too. Like it's hard to be candid because you are making it about you. You have to start from you. So you have to tell your truth. And we're always so worried about how somebody else is going to perceive what we're saying or what we're asking. And like I'm trying to not, it's funny because listening to you guys, I'm trying to not worry about how someone else is going to receive it. If I know my intention is kind, but if I'm so worried about that, I'm never going to get it out.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
It does.
Angela, why don't you say what's on your mind?
But kind of going back to not only if people are in the right spots in their career to be a rock star or not, but even having the people in the right roles. And I don't know if this is going into chapter 4 or not, but
Go right ahead. Go into chapter 4.
I mean, right? I mean, I was a broker for 8 years, like had my own company, and it was fine. It was great, but I'm much more happy being on the social end. I'm much more happy being with the clients day in, day out. That was kind of where I was shining. And then to have to be stuck in the brokerage and although I loved helping agents, it wasn't driving my clients to their goals. And having to do the back office stuff, it was okay, but it wasn't my passion. So when I had the opportunity to join another company that was going to take all that stress away from me and let me shine in what I do best, I mean, I did it, and it just blossomed from there. So I think it's really important to, and at that time, maybe when I had my own brokerage, that was the thing I was supposed to be doing. And again, once my, personal circumstances changed, I got a divorce, whatever, I was a little more free. I had time to go out and do what my passion was, which was forget about the brokerage and focus on my clients and the social aspect of that. And just the happiness of the problem solving and getting people together and getting them to their goals. And so for me, like anything else, you're good here for a while, but then you want to be here. And then it changes over the years. And I think having a company that recognizes that and can pull people in and out of roles, I think that's phenomenal.
Yeah. I will say that in reading this book, it, for me, and is, last week, Angela, you really helped me by talking about the compassion piece, and how and giving it new language, right, is important. And what I find, and Heather, you and I go through this a lot. Like we talk about, and I feel like when I had my company and I was broker owner, and I made so many mistakes. I was listening to a podcast last night, and they talked about how we talk about our company as a family. And they said, you might want different language for that, because families in many places are very dysfunctional, and people have different family experiences. And you need to have the boundaries of being able to have radical candor with people and realizing where they fit in, And I am so bad at that. All right. It's just an evolving skill that I just don't have, And I feel like with you, Angela, I did a very similar thing where I sold, or I partnered with someone and gave majority or sold majority interest in the business because I didn't want to do that anymore either, and I realized that I am just like very similar to you, is my passion is connecting with the people and not the managerial piece to it,
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was like just so impactful. And I feel like if I could as a leader now is if I could just dial it back, as Heather says, like I need to dial it back. My intensity is too much sometimes. And, so I found that to be really, really helpful. What else did you like, Angela?
Good, kind of keeping on the same venues, it not just for me as a broker and then an agent, but even within my company, I see it, because you're reading this book and they're talking about Apple and Google and Twitter, these big giant companies, and I'm trying to relate it to real estate. And in my company, you might have an admin, or you might have an agent who decides, I'm not passionate about this. It's not in my comfort zone. Can I come on the admin side? Yep. And then they pop over to the admin side. Or you might have an admin that says, I think I would make a fantastic agent. So they pop over to the agent side. Or we grow from within for leadership. And you see people changing roles all the time. And we never say things like, oh, well, isn't that a step down? No, we're like, oh my God, this is going to be perfect for this person right now. Then later they might step back out of it. It's really impactful to see how this book relates to real estate as well as the operations, because I see that happening all the time.
And that's so awesome. And I'm going to loop this in with Heather and me too, is that like my whole Rise training talks about you determining your vision of success for yourself. And it's different for everyone, and to really avoid comparison. So like in being really firm in your decision on what your vision of success is. And then also, and so like with Heather, like we just had a conversation, we've had a couple conversations lately where she's saying, and now that we have language for it, right? She's like, I want to be a rock star. Like, stop trying to make me a superstar, and I'm like, but you are a superstar. Like, and I have not heard what she's saying, or I am disagreeing with her. Right. And so, and what I should be doing is like transitioning into everything that you want in life is up to you. And I want to be the wind beneath your wings, rock star. Right. So it kind of is just super, I don't know, just so timely for me. This book is very timely for me. And, and I think that, us being able to have the comfort of finding language to communicate with people in a compassionate way has been something that's just been, I think, just such a blessing.
And remember in the book where she was pregnant with twins and she had this opportunity, I think it was to be the CEO or CFO of a company. Yeah. And she had to take a step back because she asked her doctor, kind of high risk. What should I do? I really want this. I've wanted it my whole life. And she said, well, what's more important, the job or your children's heart and lungs? And she says, okay, enough said. Yeah. But she wanted to say that might not have been everybody's choice, and that's okay. Because at different times in your life, you want different things. And never assume because somebody didn't want it at one point in their life that they won't want it later. And I thought that was pivotal. Don't put somebody in a box because of one decision they made at one point in their life, because something else. Or Kate, and Heather, maybe, I don't know how old we all are, but at my age, when you have aging parents, sometimes you have to take a step back to take care of them and to respect that portion of it too. And you might not do the same thing then than you do later on. So always keep your mind open and keep asking people. And when they say no, respect it. But if all of a sudden they might say yes, and you might have a really pleasant surprise.
Yeah. And you know what, that is, there's that saying, like, you only have right now, and so at this moment in time where you're fitting in, for yourself, and not shooting on yourself, which I love. So good. So good.
What did you say? Not what on yourself?
Shooting on yourself. So it's like, but the idea, I know, but see, here's the thing is that's the idea, right? Like if somebody offers me something and I feel like I should do it because it's such a good opportunity, but I'm like, but it's not the right time. And this has happened to me in the past couple of years. A couple opportunities have come and I'm like, it's just not the right time. Mm-hmm. And as you say, it's because of outside commitments I have. And I'm like, I cannot do that right now, and it's so hard. And you feel, I felt like scorned after, like, and it was, I'm sure it was me. Like, I'm sure it was like, they were not scorning me at all, but it was like, because I'm like, I think I have like the superstar mentality of like that biggering thing I talked about at the beginning, but that biggering thing was triggering, for me. And it's like, just stay comfortable in your own boots. Yeah. So so let's wrap this up for today. And I would love to continue this. So if you're game for next week, so if this was 3 and 4, and I'm a little behind, so 5 and 6, and Heather,
I'll catch up.
Yep. So and I just like, I love this, and I love you, Angela, for doing this with me and with us, and you, Heather, for jumping in and sharing your story. I'm going to just kind of round robin it as far as any closing thoughts on this. And I'll start with you, Heather.
Well, because I got to go. But my closing thought is like, so you had asked me last week too, because I said I'm a follower and not a leader. And you said to ask a couple people who knew me. So of course I asked Liz, and she's like, I don't see you as a follower, but the way she said it was like, I see you like in a group, like, or like a posse, or I don't even know what the word she used was. And I got that. It's like, I'm comfortable. Like, I am not comfortable, like blazing off on my own trail, but I am comfortable in leadership roles, but only encompassed within a, what would the word I use? Not group, but do you know what I'm saying? So,
Tribe.
Yeah. Like
team.
Yeah. I like to work among people, like amongst people. I'm not afraid. I don't shy away from leadership, but I don't. Yeah, whatever I'm saying is
you
what I'm saying.
You are a leader within a network.
Yeah,
you are
so
an integral.
Come in. So you should read this book too. This is Liz.
How are you?
No, Heather is a very integral part of the network. And I think what I was saying, because I definitely wouldn't say she's a follower. I mean, just her whole persona is leadership. But where her gift is for making order out of chaos. And you need a whole group to do that. And so she does her part. And
I love it.
Definitely a follower can't do that.
So Liz, meet Angela. Angela, meet Liz Riley.
Hi. Okay.
Take over for a minute.
All right.
I'll take over Heather's business meeting here. So.
So, oh my gosh. Well, it's nice to see you, Liz. So Angela, what would be your closing thoughts on this?
I guess my closing thoughts on this would be not just to take it into like a corporate mindset, but even take it into your family and your children. You know, you might have one child that, is great at mowing the lawn, but they don't love it, but maybe they're a great organizer. So maybe give them the task where they're the organizers. So try to have fun with it and take it into your family, take it into your life in general, and not just keep it corporate. I think it's a fun concept and it's an important one. Yeah.
And Liz is a somewhat new CEO. She just bought a company, family company. And so, Liz, you definitely would be a great candidate for our book club because it is.
Oh, I love it. Yes. Oh my God, I want it. I want to be there.
Okay, so I'm ordering you and Heather a book as soon as I hang up.
Thank you.
And you guys can join next week.
I need that support right now more than ever.
Yes.
And that network. Yeah.
Yes. So we're plugged in with you.
Great.
And I guess I just want to finish by saying, you know, when I looked at this, and my first thought as I was reading it was like, I made so many mistakes. And the thing is, and moving forward, is that we're always where we are, and that's where we're supposed to be right at that second. And so learning from the past and getting truth nuggets from the past and taking like information that sounds good out here and getting it in here and internalizing the lessons that are in here, the nuggets, and moving forward, creating helping people be rock stars and superstars and finding out exactly what I want and moving that forward and knowing that there's a framework for everything.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. And we will be back next week. And I so appreciate you. And this book has been wonderful. And I can't wait for what's in store for us next.
Have a great day.